One and all, AJ Legend here, and welcome to the Superhero Chronicles. And the X-Men movie review continues. This time, we will be covering X-Men Apocalypse, which came out in May of this year. Actually, the movie is part of the First Class trilogy, which includes First Class and Days of Futures Past. So all the familiar faces come back. Plus, we got some new additions. We got the return of Cyclops as a young as a teenager. The return of Jean Grey as a teenager. We got the return of Nightcrawler. We finally have, though she's not named in the movie, we finally have Jubilees in this movie. Surprising is in this movie. We have return of Angel. We have Psylocke in this thing. Storm is back, and of course we have the villain, the man known as Apocalypse. And I have to say, I really like this movie. I know it got a lot of hate on its release. I see where the hate can come from, but I personally like it. I'm a real big fan of the First Class trilogy. I love First Class. I adore Days of Future Past, and I really like X-Men. I really like X-Men Apocalypse. I like the effects in this movie are great. Bryan Singer once again is a marvel behind the camera. The man knows how to direct. His action sequences are breathtaking, especially near the end. We got this big smorgasbord of a fight where all the X-Men are taking on Apocalypse and his Horsemen. Now, of course, in this version, in the movie version, the four Horsemen that Apocalypse has chosen are Angel, who is a staple of Apocalypse's Horsemen, of course. We have Storm and Psylocke and Magneto comprise of this iteration of the Four Horsemen. And speaking of Magneto, I love Michael Fassbender. I think Michael Fassbender in this performance in X-Men Apocalypse is probably one of his best, one of his better, because I love what they do with Magneto. And like when you first see Magneto, right, he's living amongst the humans, living a normal life. You know, he has a family, you know, a wife and a child, and he's putting his past behind him, and he's starting to like live amongst the humans, and he has a life. He has a good life now. Of course, the factory that Magneto works at has an accident, and Magneto used his power to save one of his workers. And of course, one thing led to another. They find out that that the person that's been working with him has been Magneto all along. In the movie, Magneto's going by the pseudonym of Henrik. They find out that, you know, he's not who he seems to be, and it leads to probably one of the most intense yet sad scenes I've ever seen in an X-Men movie world. Magneto watches his wife and daughter die. It wasn't on purpose. It was a complete accident. One of the cops has a bow and arrow. I don't know where that came from. He accidentally. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. He has a bow and arrow because, you know, they know that he's the master of magnetism, and, you know, he can't control wood. So anyway, the guy has a bow and arrow, and he accidentally lets it loose, and it kills his child and his wife. And just the pure emotion that Michael Fassbender has in that scene is just so sad. The way he just cradles them, and you're like, you feel heartbroken for this man. It's like captured by the Nazis, was forced to watch his mother die because he couldn't perform. Then you go to Days of Futures Past, where he pretty much is willing to kill just to support his own kind, to make sure his own kind is safe. And then he's flashed over here where he's trying to get his shit together, and the man just can't catch a break. He can't catch a break, and pretty much he reverts back to Magneto. He takes everyone out, and he submits himself to Apocalypse. And there's also this crazy scene where Apocalypse transports him to Poland. Transports Magneto to Auschwitz. And Magneto has this awesome line where it's like, "Where were you when my mother and father were being slaughtered?" And Apocalypse responds with, "I was asleep in darkness. I wasn't there for you, my son, but I'm here now." And I like that exchange because Apocalypse is the villain, but to me, Apocalypse genuinely sounded like if he was there to help Magneto, he would have been there to help Magneto. Then again, who knows if he was being sincere, but the way Oscar Isaac played it was really good because he like it sounded sincere, but you can interpret it in multiple ways. Maybe he wasn't being so sincere, and that just and speaking of Oscar Isaacs, I love Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. I think he nails it as Apocalypse. I love the voice he does for Apocalypse. It's like he talks real slow, like so. It's like he sounds a little something like give me a second. Whereas I can't do. I can't. There's one line that I can't remember what he says. Fuck, I can't remember what it was. It'll come back to me. It'll get to me eventually. Anyway, of course, now this movie also reintroduces us to Jean Grey and Cyclops and Nightcrawler. In the movie versions, of course, in the comic books, Alex is the younger brother of Cyclops, but here it's reversed, where Alex is the older brother and Scott's the younger brother, and pretty much Alex and Scott's and Cyclops is the hothead, and he's developing his powers for the first time, and Alex brings him to Professor X to help his brother like cope with these mutant powers that he's developing, and I like I like what they did with Cyclops in this movie. It's like it's finally you have a movie where Cyclops is not cast to the side. He's actually a character. He actually has things to do. You see the early stages of his relationship with Jean Grey start to build, which I think is in certain scenes. It's cool. It's kind of it's cool. It's romantic for lack of a better word in a way. Seeing these two finally seeing the budding begin the relationship of a budding romance between the two, which is great. And you got Nightcrawler, played by Cody Smith McPhee, and Nightcrawler in this is actually really, really funny. He has a lot of funny lines. Man. Excuse me. There's one line where like Nightcrawler's never been to a mall before, right? And he was like, "I'd like to go to the mall." And the way he delivered it, it's just like Nightcrawler's portrayed as so innocent and so naive, and it's pulled off great. I like it a lot. Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. She's from Game of Thrones. I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of her work, but I was not all that impressed with her as an actress. To me, she was like a little flat in certain areas with her line delivery. Nothing horrible, but nothing to write home about. But the actress that was bad in this movie was Jennifer Lawrence. Now, she was not that great to begin with in the other two movies, so she ain't gonna impress you in this one. Because in this one, she phones it in, and you can clearly tell that she does not want to be there. You can tell by the way she's performing that she's just here for a check. She's not going to give it her all, and it really shows, and it kind of kills a lot of the moments that she has, because her delivery for certain key scenes is just so like lifeless. It's so like deadpan. It's like, really? You just told Xavier that Eric's been hiding, has a family, and you're delivering the line like, oh yeah, he has a family. They died. He disappeared. We gotta find him. Help me, Charles. Come on. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence, you're an Academy Award-winning actress. You're better than this. You're not my favorite actress. I think you're okay, but Jesus, I mean, show the people why you're an award-winning actress. Why are you showing them that you're a fucking schlub? So J-Law gets an F for horrible performances. James McAvoy is Professor X. What can I say that I didn't say before? The man is awesome. His chemistry with Fassbender just gets better and better. And I also like, his little chemistry, the little interaction he was having with Oscar Isaacs. I thought those two played off well against each other. And they like so Isaacs and McAvoy, they played off well against each other, and they have a pretty cool mind fight because in like the whole last half of the movie is Apocalypse finds out that in order for him to to have all the power, he has to transfer his body and self into Xavier. Because if he's able to get into Xavier, then Apocalypse can control the entire world. So they get connect. So that's the whole. That's what they do. So like when they have the little scene, they were still connected and like they were still connected. Like they were still connected. So, but Charles gets into Apocalypse, his mind, and they have a little mind fight, which I think is pretty cool. And of course, that's when you see Apocalypse do all his trades. He goes in size, and he's just like destroying Professor X. But like before that, Professor X and like starts doing some boxing stuff with him, and it looks good. Professor X. So Professor X, I thought was pretty good in this movie, as always. And of course, of course, how can I forget the in the middle of the movie, the Striker comes in. In the middle of the movie, when Apocalypse invades the expansion, explodes, and Quicksilver, does his, once again, steals the show with a great scene where the house is exploding. He's just saving everybody, and it looks great. But anyway, Striker comes in, takes the mutants to like the Alkali Lake, and they trying to escape. They can't. They try. Then in the middle of trying to escape, they unleash Wolverine, who makes his surprise cameo. But this is not Wolverine. This is Wolverine, Weapon X, Berserker Rage, and he is tearing shop. He is fucking shit up. He's killing everyone. He's going animal shit on. He's going animal on everyone. Fucking slashing, blood all over the place, blood all the walls, blood on the floor. It's glorious. Looks glorious. It was like what X-Men Origins Wolverine failed to do within like almost a 2-hour time frame. X-Men Apocalypse did was in the 10-minute scene, and it just goes to show just how pathetically sad a lot of these X-Men movies can be. Where it's like a full-length movie couldn't do it, but a 10-minute cameo did everything that needed to be done, and it worked. Shame on you, Fox, for fucking shit up. You suck. That's all I'm gonna say. Sometimes you do good, and sometimes you just flat out suck. This is one of those cases where you suck. You suck because a full-length movie could not do what a 10-minute scene did. Pat yourselves on the back. Anyway. So yeah, that's what I think of X-Men Apocalypse. I like it a lot. I recommend you see it. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it immensely. And of course, I love the ending where now this movie is not the end of a trilogy. It's the end of one saga, and it's transitioning into another saga. Because at the end of the movie, the official X-Men are formed with Quicksilver, Nightcrawler, Jean, Cyclops, Beast, Storm. So the X-Men is finally formed with the X-Men that we all know and love. And they're in the Danger Room. And you see Sentinels with a quick cameo. And you see Professor X, who's bald. You see Mystique, who is the leader. And Mystique, I never liked Mystique in the cartoon. I didn't care for her in the other movies. I didn't care for her in the TV show. I've just never been a fan of Mystique. I never really cared for her. I don't hate her, but I don't think she's all that interesting. I don't think she's all that interesting. I think she's just, to me, she's just there. Even I don't know. I don't know why I just couldn't get into her. And Jennifer Lawrence didn't really do anything to change that because she just flat out sucks as Mystique. But anyway, you see them all, and you see, and what's even good is that you see everyone in like a modified version of their comic book costumes, and it looks awesome. I loved it, and I wish the movie would have gone on for like a little 5 more minutes, just see them take on the Sentinels and have a little 5-minute battle scene. But like to give you just a taste of what's to come, and I love it. I love it. It's the end of one, and it's the start of something new, and I cannot wait for more. So this has been my review of X-Men Apocalypse. I give it a solid out of 10. I recommend, if you like the other X-Men movies, definitely give this one a watch. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Like I said, a lot of it is good. Some of it ain't that great, especially some of the acting, which mostly comes from Jennifer Lawrence and Sophie Turner. But for some, the movie might be a little too long, might drag on. But to me, it's great. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again next time for more. Later.